Please welcome Oliver Kontler, Embassy of Mexico in Germany.
Healthcare can't just be for the richest countries. Innovation has to reach more people, especially those left out in the past. And Hera Biotech is making that happen. They are creating smart, science-based tools for women's health, tools that are more accessible and more fair. And they are truly a global company, with a team working across the US, Canada, Switzerland, and Latin America. And part of their technology was proudly developed in Mexico. And even more important, they are led by women, built on diverse voices. Hera Biotech isn't afraid to break old patterns, and that's exactly what makes them so relevant in today's healthcare landscape. We are proud to support them, because they're not just creating a product, they are driven by a vision of truly inclusive care. Thank you.
Breaking the wall of diagnostic gaps in women's health. Somer Baburek, Hera Biotech.
Hello, my name is Summer Baburek, and I'm the CEO of Hera Biotech. At Hera, we're dedicated to closing the gaps in women's health, and we're starting with diagnostics. Women's health has long suffered from a lack of robust diagnostics that focus on the mechanistic underpinnings of diseases, without which meaningful interventions cannot be developed. Hera Biotech is a precision diagnostics platform leveraging adaptive machine learning algorithms for indications that uniquely or specifically impact women globally. Our products solve problems for large patient populations in both endometriosis and cervical cancer. Endometriosis is a chronic progressive disease where tissue similar to what normally lines the inside of the uterus invades outside of the uterus. It affects nearly 200 million women worldwide, often causing debilitating pain, infertility, and it's associated with over 60 comorbidities, including cervical cancer, which is the fourth most common cancer in women, killing nearly 350,000 every year. Like many things in women's health, both of these diseases suffer from gaps in diagnostic technology. Endometriosis, for example, can only be diagnosed definitively with a surgery, which most patients wait an average of 8 years to receive. Cervical cancer is diagnosed with a pap smear, which relies on collecting a sample from a very specific location on the cervix and requires sophisticated cold chain logistics. In the US, it's about 76% sensitive, which isn't ideal. But in low to middle income markets, that drops to between 40 to 50%, which is where 94% of cervical cancer deaths occur. This is not acceptable, and access to robust diagnostics should not be geographically limited. Women's health certainly isn't. Hera's platform currently features 2 solutions. The first is MetriDx, a non-surgical in-office test for the definitive diagnosis and stratification of endometriosis. Requiring only basic lab equipment, this test is well positioned to replace the surgical gold standard. The second is HeraFem, a point-of-care cervical cancer screening device utilizing advanced electrical and optical spectroscopy to deliver real-time, single-visit precision while overcoming the challenges with the pap smear. Hera's revolutionary products measure the biological and physical properties of tissues where these diseases originate in a fast, robust, and cost-efficient manner, with results for endometriosis in days, not years, and for cervical cancer, instantly at the point of care. Women's health is underserved worldwide, and for Hera, success means serving women where they are. Our HeraFem device is currently in the process of regulatory approval in Mexico, with secured distribution across 7 Latin American countries and 150 pre-orders. We're currently in discussions with distributors that would allow us to commercialize across the remainder of Latin America, as well as parts of APAC and Africa. For endometriosis, we'll commercialize first in the US as a lab-developed test and shortly thereafter go for FDA clearance. We'll launch first in fertility clinics, allowing for a personalized approach to improve patient outcomes. Second, with pharmaceutical companies to lower the barriers to efficient drug development. And third, with OB-GYNs for patients who present with symptoms. This will allow us to generate revenue and build significant value while we pursue reimbursement and any regulatory clearances necessary across geographies. Something I'm particularly proud of is the team behind this technology. Our team includes deep scientific expertise, top-tier computational biology, data science, and engineering talents, life science venture capital, product commercialization, reimbursement expertise, healthcare executive leadership, and between our members, we have over 10 exits in this space. In summary, Hera Biotech has the deepest pipeline in endometriosis, with multiple assays in development, as well as the largest proprietary biobank and data sets in the space, creating a biopharma opportunity unique to other diagnostics in the field. We also have the only point-of-care cervical cancer device built for global adoption, which will be in revenue in Q1 of next year. I'll leave you with this. Complex problems require comprehensive solutions, and that's exactly what Hera Biotech is building.
Wonderful. Sometimes we say you need a great timing. It's a great timing always for that, right? Wonderful. Where are the questions? Who wants to start? Iris, I'm looking at you. No? Okay. Who else? Yes, Andrea, please.
Could you say something to your competitors? Because I think there are already some companies trying the same. And what's the difference to yours?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So everyone else in the field, specifically as it relates to endometriosis, is very focused on screening. So they're downstream, most of which are looking at some sort of a liquid biopsy, typically blood. If you examine those panels more, they're looking at sequelae of the disease. They're looking at inflammatory markers. We would absolutely expect that to be elevated in an endometriosis patient. We would also expect inflammation upregulation in a number of other comorbid conditions. So we think that what will happen is likely what happened to the first entrant into that space, which is once they started doing randomized clinical trials and got confounding conditions on, it confounded their test. We would be really excited to see a screening technology like that with a lower threshold on the patient come to market. It would be wonderful because it's going to funnel the patient to us, which is the definitive test.
Next question. Yes, Iris.
Thank you. You mentioned you're using a spectroscopic tool for either of the two, either the endometriosis or the cervical cancer. I was wondering what exactly is analyzed in the spectroscopic data? Like, what is it looking for and how reliable would that be?
Sure. I don't have my technical expert with me to answer those questions, so I'm going to do my best. So we use electrical and optical spectroscopy in our HeraFem device. So the way that test is done is we touch the cervix, we don't collect a physical sample. And what we're reading are JSON files, so it's the wavelength that's coming back to distinguish between diseased tissue and non-diseased tissue. The entire exam takes about 90 seconds, and we read the entire effacing portion of the cervix, and we get a 7-millimeter depth.
Inga, you are the next one. And then we will have Detlef.
Thank you very much. Maybe I missed the information, but we also plan to go to the European market?
Yes, we are planning to go to the European market. We're commercializing the HeraFem device in Latin America because it was already in the process of regulatory approval. So we didn't want to disrupt that, and we're going to high impact areas there. Then we'll pull it into the US with an FDA supportive trial and then bring it over into the European market. We can go immediately into Switzerland with that FDA clearance and then go for CE. Same kind of with the endometriosis. We'll go for FDA clearance in the US and then pull it over. No offense, we just want to be priced in the US market.
Next question, Andrea. Oh, no, sorry, Detlef. Sorry, yeah.
The endometriosis test takes what tissue sample? So I didn't get, is this also a visual or?
No, that one takes an endometrial biopsy, and we're measuring gene signatures in the uterine lining.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea.
Was the same question.
Okay. We still have 1 minute and 8 seconds. 6, 5, here we go. Oh, make it fast.
Do you have a way of also detecting adenomyosis as some specific endometriosis?
We're working on it.
Okay.
As well as endometrial cancer.
Great. Stefan.
How much money is being saved?
So the surgery so let me go that 2 ways. In the US, the surgery for diagnosis costs about $17,000. We're targeting just under $1,000 for our test. But the 8-year wait is massive. It costs insurers in the US about $36,000 a year extra for an endo patient who's non-diagnosed. That driver is that they are going into the ER, they're being admitted, and there's a very high misdiagnosis rate, 70%, and IBS is the #1 misdiagnosis, misdiagnosis.
Great. I think 15 seconds is a bit tight for a last question. Are we happy with this? Yes? Wonderful. Thank you so much for your important work.